Today on Into the Ring, Out of the Box, we're looking at one half of Bad Breed.
And one half of the hardcore chair-swinging freaks.
Today we've got from the original San Francisco Toymakers ECW line, Axl Rotten.
That's right.
So hide your scissors and hide your staple guns. We're going to take a look at how hardcore this figure actually is. Hey, this is Matthew.
This is Rich from Rageworks.
And welcome to Into the Ring, Out of the Box, the show where we take a look at wrestling figures from the past, present, and, well, not future because we can't time travel yet, but
Not yet.
Past and present.
This week we have, from the original San Francisco Toymakers that was released in the year 2000, an Axl Rotten figure from ECW's Extreme Championship Wrestling hardcore line.
So this is from the Champion Clashers wave, which is a pretty cool wave. At this point, we've been looking at the original figures, but now we're getting into the latter end of the line, and they were producing a lot of really cool dudes that we'll look at some point too.
Right, the breakdown of them is each one of them was segregated into different special abilities, so these Championship Clashers were some of the more physical superstars that were part of the ECW roster during that time.
And I guess we'll show you guys a look at the back right now. You can see the rest of the waves, and this also shows you who's going to be in some of the unreleased waves, like those 2-packs you see on the very bottom that never got released. That's a bunch of dudes we never got to see in those colors. But otherwise, every single figure you see did get released besides those dudes. And there's a lot of cool figures, and basically everybody you're seeing in the back of this too, who wasn't a repaint, they're pretty hard to get these days.
Jeez.
Yeah, like Mike Awesome especially, he's probably one of the hardest ones to get.
Well, Mike Awesome was, no pun intended, awesome.
Yeah, fair enough. But we're not here to look at that. We're here to look at Axl Rotten.
Unlike other ECW figures, which are loaded with typical signature ECW plunder, this one comes with a snow shovel of all things and a sticker that isn't even a sticker of himself, but a sticker of Rob Van Dam.
Which is actually kind of funny because did you know that Rob Van Dam's first match in ECW was actually against Axl Rotten?
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
All right, then that's a little bit of fan service if you want to call it that. I think it was
I doubt
accidental.
it was, yeah. I think the stickers are probably random, so I'm not entirely sure, but RVD's in there, so that's kind of fun at least. And it's a weird, tombstone-shaped sticker, too.
Yep, unlike some of the other stickers, which were just basic square stickers, it was a tombstone shape, which, given this guy's future, is apropos.
Ouch. That's extreme. So this is, as you mentioned, the signature Champion Clashers packaging. So, as we noted with other ECW figures, they all basically share the exact same packaging. That's no different here. It's the same carding. The only thing that changes is the label on the front. And, of course, his sticker. That's about it.
Kept the cost low, that's for sure.
Really did, yeah. There's one thing you can say about ECW is that they were frugal.
That's right. As was the company that was involved, because, again, they didn't have to go through a lot. Everything was on the same card. One thing I did notice, he actually has a different... It's not a palette swap in terms of body styles. Like, he actually has, a different body style than some of the other figures.
Yeah, that is, the surprising thing about all these ECW figures we've been looking at is that they all pretty much have unique bodies. I'm
Right.
kind of shocked as to how many different bodies there are for these guys, but
Yep.
they really went all out with these figures as much as they could.
He was actually, a husky guy, had a little bit of a beer gut, and... the figure represents that, unlike some of the other figures. Like the Bubba Ray Dudley figure that we had looked at was a bigger figure in terms of just matching the way he looked. He was just a thicker, stockier guy versus a guy like Axl Rotten, which, again, not the most in-shape dude, but they captured that well in the figure considering that the technology back then was nowhere near what it is now.
Yeah, it's all very unique.
Yep. So now we talked about packaging, plunder, and the figure itself. Let's pop that bubble.
And open him up! And we're back, and here is our Axl Rotten loose and out of the packaging.
That's right. Bubble's been popped, and we opened them up.
We did.
Here he is.
He's not bleeding yet, so he's not opened up in that regard, but the night is young. We'll see what happens.
So this Axl Rotten figure, detailing is pretty solid. You can actually differentiate all the stitching in his jorts.
Gotta love those jorts.
Yep, definitely ECW staple. If you were a plunder wrestler in ECW during that era, jorts were a necessity.
That's where you hide your plunder.
That's right.
It's got the signature hand wrapping as well. And again, we mentioned all these figures have original sculpts. This seems to be pretty original as well. Nothing really reused here. The head is really nice likeness as well. I'm still shocked every time I open up one of these original San Francisco Toymakers figures how good the face sculpts actually were.
That's right. You can even, if you're a customizer, you can repaint them and make them one half of the Nasty Boys.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right.
Won't take much to do that.
Nope, not much at all. But detailing is pretty solid. The The joint work on this figure, though, in my opinion, a little strangely placed.
Yeah.
And obviously part of it was to make it easier for the action feature, which was the clothesline. But still, the positioning of this hand being out, it looks like he should be holding a guitar.
Yeah. ECW figures had really weird arms. I don't know what it was. Like, some of them have their hands like up like this. Like, I don't even know why they're doing that. Because it wouldn't fit with their accessories. And it wasn't just them, too. Like, I remember a lot of Toy Biz WCW toys had hands just like that, too.
Yep.
Where it'd just be like, they have no shoulder joints. So their hands just permanently like this all the time. That's really all they can do.
I'll never forget Toy Biz's Venom figure, the original one that had the slime that came out of the chest.
Yep.
His arms were like that, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was very weird.
So it's limited range of motion, and I guess that's going to lead us to articulation. And when we say limited range of motion, we don't just mean because of this weird wrist placement. We mean because of this figure itself.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it has the knee joint like most figures, which is fine, and the knee joint actually is pretty decent.
It actually works.
Yep, it actually works. The only thing about the knee joint, obviously, with the jorts, is that the range of motion is pretty limited.
It's about as high as you can kick, which to be fair is actually authentic.
Yeah, pretty much. In terms of real life application, yes, his joint movement is apropos. He has a Axl T-shirt with extreme headache on the back for whatever reason. Don't remember what his tattoos were, but they were pretty good with the tattoos. San Francisco toy makers, they captured a lot of them very nicely. He has the calf one here. He has the two on the side. Again,
we can't really show you guys the calf and the arm at the same time because of how the arms are, because how they're articulated. It's like
the poor placement definitely does not make that easy. But you know what? He's got the hand wraps. If you feel like doing something cool and custom, you get a little super glue, some broken up glass, and boom, Taipei Deathmatch Special Edition.
That's like one of those ECW matches I still don't even like to watch that much because it's just so yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's one of those matches when the audience gets quiet, you know that it's too hardcore even for them.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, Taipei Deathmatch, if you watch the movie Kickboxer, where Van Damme fought Tong Po, basically you wrap your hands and then you put them in glue and then you dip them in crushed up glass. Needless to say, we're going to just take that right out of a movie and make that a wrestling match. Great.
It worked, and it was horribly disgusting.
Yeah, it was bad news. But the figure itself, obviously, likeness is rock solid, minus the articulation. Pretty great figure.
Yeah, I mean, it's got really nice hair detail on the back as well.
Yep.
And I mean, it's got even that facial hair on him is really nice looking. He's got the piercing. Like, this looks like Axl Rotten.
That's
it's
right.
Very good. So Axl, in terms of articulation, again, he has no waist movement at all. There's no waist. Nothing in the shoulder. His arms. So this arm can do that. And again, because of that weird wrist, that's about all he can do. He can do an elbow. He can do a nice Dusty Rhodes elbow, but
that's about it.
But yeah, here's the downside. His clothesline action feature
does not work.
Does not work.
So if you would have bought this figure in 2000 and you would have taken it home to your kid or to add it to your collection, that feature would have been broke. And you would have been going back to KB Toy Stores or Toys R Us complaining, and they would have said, too bad.
So, I mean, it looks like it's probably supposed to do what's happening here. Because when I do this, the lever on the back is moving.
Yep.
So it would have been an actually really nice-looking clothesline if it worked. That actually would have been a really good-looking feature.
Yeah, it would have worked all right.
In theory. But unfortunately, we can never test it because it's busted, and I'm not about to buy a new one.
Nope, definitely not.
I do wonder, though, how accurate these silver shoes are.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure they're not at all. I don't know why they went with these weird colors, but OSFT did that a lot. They went with a lot of weird color choices. And, I mean, the silver shoes don't look bad on him, but they're definitely not
out of
accurate.
character. I expected him to have, like, combat boots on, I think.
Yeah, I just thought they'd be covered in blood and death, but, you know, that's just me.
Besides the weird silver shoes, he came with a very strange accessory, a snow shovel. I watched ECW a lot growing up. I don't recall anyone ever being hit with a snow shovel.
There was one time that Mr. Plow was in a match.
Okay, then yeah, that I can understand, but snow shovel, strange accessory. I would have expected maybe a chair, maybe a barbed wire bat. Did any of them ever come with, like, the fake barbed wire?
No ECW toys did, no.
No, right?
No, barbed wire didn't come out until much later on.
Okay.
In fact, it was actually Jax who did the first barbed wire baseball bat.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, see? That would have been a great accessory, like the barbed wire bat, or even just a barbed wire to wrap around their hand.
Like, we've got bats, we've got 2x4s, there's other weapons they could hold. They made a chainsaw for crying out loud, but they never
Who had the chainsaw?
A bunch of guys had chainsaws. We'll get to that.
Oh, my God. In addition to that, they came with stickers, which is kind of cool.
I didn't realize it was actually more than one sticker.
Yeah, it was more than one. So you get, in this package, you got Rob Van Dam. You get his former tag team partner, the late Balls Mahoney. You also get the late Chris Candido.
I feel like a trend here is going to begin.
Sadly, not the late
No.
Sandman, all things considered with his lifestyle choices, but no, not the late Sandman. And
He might be late to the show.
one of my underrated favorites, Nova,
Yeah.
Chris Chetty.
So all these guys did have figures as well, and hopefully we'll get to look at them one day too.
That's right.
These Champions Clashers and Bash the Brawlers lines are pretty hard to find these days. So those Nova and Mike Awesome in particular are tough to get. So we'll see what we can do about those.
Really, Nova's a hard to find figure? Did he
Nova's
tell me he
pretty
had
hard.
repaints because he had awesome
No.
ring outfits?
Surprisingly, Nova only got one figure.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
Ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Nova's the guy who should have had tons.
He should have had tons. That would have been a collector's dream right there. A
Yeah.
bunch of different repaints with all his awesome outfits. Damn shame.
So we've talked about the figure and everything, but now let's actually see if he can do his moves in the ring.
Let's see. Let's hope for the best, considering his articulation.
Considering his articulation is terrible.
That's it. Maybe an elbow drop, perhaps. Let's
That's
find out.
That'll probably be about it.
That's it.
So Axl is in the ring, and who is he gonna beat up? Well, how about none other than good old Lance Storm?
That's it.
Hey, you guys, can I be serious for a minute? Oh no, eh?
Nope.
Lance is gonna hate us if he ever sees these videos.
Probably.
Mostly me. Sorry, I'll take a
Probably
chest
for
top
you.
from him.
In terms of playability, since this feature is not working on this figure, everything is pretty manual, but he's got a snazzy elbow drop friendly joint, so you can probably just do a elbow drop,
Nice.
and that worked all right. That's not bad.
Brett Rope elbow.
That's it. And he's supposed to have like a clothesline feature, which isn't working, but if you set up the hand at least, and you do that,
You will have him botch the move.
That's it. Well, he probably did that quite a bit in his career, so.
It's unfortunate because the action feature looks like it would have been really cool to have. Oh, he did a flying dropkick
He did a
instead.
flying dropkick, which doesn't work.
Very accurate to Axl Rotten's moveset.
Yeah, sure. As accurate can be. All right, Lance Storm, let's try it one last time for good luck for the clothesline. And the verdict. Nope.
Dropkick to the knee.
Dropkick to the knee is it.
Poor Lance Storm.
I want to see if you could get a clothesline out of him. Clearly, I haven't played with toys in so long that I'm a bit rusty. Yeah, that one's always,
I'm just going to give him a Rainmaker.
That's it.
But, I mean, he does actually, since it is broken, he actually has a little bit more ability to do stuff like he can actually do a hip toss.
Yeah, that actually works.
He could just smash his head into the turnbuckles and splash him. I mean, let's go ahead and set him up for that.
And the splash is coming.
I mean, he could, I'm pretty sure, do at least a powerbomb, kind of. Let's see. I mean, yeah, he actually can set up for a powerbomb. Not.
Yeah, he can actually, with that one arm better than others, yeah.
Can't really do a sit down, but he could probably do on the knees, that classic ECW style.
That's it. Like I said, playability, since the feature's not working, leaves a bit to be desired. You could do a DDT, I think.
Well, actually, we can hit his SST finisher, in fact.
Yep.
That we can do. So we just pick him up, I mean... And there we go, we can hit his finisher. So at least we can do that much.
That much is good, but again, you know, with the play feature not working, it opens up some freedom. It gives you some freedom with some of the moves, but, you know, obviously you could do a nice Raven-style DDT if you wanted. Or Lance Storm, just...
Or let's make this hardcore.
Oh,
Oh my god, he's on the outside. There's no padding down there. Oh my god.
that man has a family.
I mean, it's a Canadian family, so is it really a family?
Oh my god. Apologies to our Canadian viewers.
And of course, the weird hand motion here. Let's get some weapons in his hand, so let's at least do that.
Yep, let's give him the snow shovel guitar.
The old snow shovel, his most famous hardcore accessory.
That's it. That's what he comes with.
Time to take out the Canadian trash.
Oh my god.
Well, in this case, it's fitting.
Yeah, it's fitting because it's snow and Canada and a shovel, so sure.
Yeah, that works.
I mean, it looks better like that. He kind of
Yeah.
looks like American Gothic holding it like this. Just take a picture. In terms of usability, you could probably just, you know, do the old whack 'em with it, or hit him that way, maybe, possibly.
I mean, it's a weird accessory.
It is a weird accessory. Maybe the snow shovel splash. Sure, that's a
extreme.
finisher. Sure.
Doesn't get more extreme than the snow shovel splash, which I'm pretty sure just busted him open because now
That's
he's
it.
holding it.
You know what's funny? Looking at these ECW figures, now that you mention
Well,
that,
now it's extreme.
it would have been cool if they would have done. Remember when you used to be able to wipe like the face of a figure and get like, you know, like blood or battle damage?
Yeah.
That would have been cool, I think, for these ECW figures. You wipe them and they get like a little.
I mean, I wish I had some ketchup packets here. We could just have them juice a little bit. But despite the action feature being broken, I still like this a lot, actually. And I think I actually like it more because the feature is broken. As much as I enjoy action features, as a kid, I preferred not to have them. Once I outgrew the Hasbros, I kind of like to be able to play with them.
I remember the 1989 Batman figures, the Bob the Goon. He had a kicking feature.
Yeah, that kick.
And when it finally broke, it made the figure so much better because when you had to pose it, the leg would just pop up.
Yep.
And that was it. The figure would fall over. So in some cases, I have to agree. If the action feature doesn't work, it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, so in this case, I think it is a good thing for this figure. But regardless of that, it's still actually a lot of fun. It's a nice figure. It's a good representation of him. It is basically, I think, the only way to get him because I don't think he had any other figures beyond this. So
how hard is he to find in terms of collectability if someone's looking to add him to theirs?
Medium.
Medium?
He's a little tough, but not that tough. You can find him. He's not Mike Awesome or super crazy level of tough to get.
Okay.
Yeah. A little bit easier to find, but not on the cheap end of like the Taz's and the Just Incredibles.
All right. Good to know. That way people that are looking to add this to their collection have an idea of what they're in for if they want to add Axl Rotten to their action figure line.
Exactly.
Before we close out, it would only be fitting since he never won one. Let's give him an ECW title.
Yes.
Because the poor guy never won a belt.
There you go.
So there you go.
ECW Heavyweight Champion Axl Rotten.
That's it. Axl Rotten never won any gold in ECW, and we felt that it would be fitting for him to get a little gold on the way out.
So there you go. Congratulations, Axl. A winner is you.
That's it. You've won a title, good sir. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest and greatest videos from Nerd News Today, including more Into the Ring, out-of-the-box action figure reviews.
Did you say ring that bell? Quiet, Canadian boy. So I'm Matthew.
I'm Rich from RageWorks.
And thanks for watching this episode of Into the Ring, Out of the Box. Stay tuned for more episodes coming very soon. And until then, let's get extreme.
That's it.
Snow shoveling.
That's it.